Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man.
For I am the man himself. Hey, if you smell, finally, the man has come back to live streaming. As I'm trying not to be super duper loud because my wife is sleeping in the next room, and it is almost midnight, but I'm still here. And I'm still live to start off 2024. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. And from what I checked, the first time since August 7th of last year, we are live for a live review of Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, Day 1. January 1st, 2024, New Year's Day, and this show took place in San Diego, California. And I went live because we had a big moment, a big mic drop moment happen on this episode of Raw that I would like, of course, to discuss at the end of the stream. But we are going to talk about Raw. Again, it is late at night, I am aware. But because I was hoping to at least create a little bit of discussion, that's why I thought I would try to go live. And again, I would like to try to make live streams happen again. Again, with the holidays past, things aren't quite as chaotic right now for me right now. Really, the next big thing for me is I have a business trip in 2 weeks. So this week and next week, we will have reviews of Raw and SmackDown. Although something happened on Dynamite tonight that I may do a brief video on Dynamite. Because something happened tonight that really made me happy and really excited me. But the following week, the week of the 14th to the 19th, there will be no reviews. As I will be out of town on a business trip that week. My usual Vegas trip that I go to. This is my third year going on that trip. So that will be happening then. I also, again, do plan on sometime soon bringing back my video game Let's Plays of Roller Coaster Tycoon and getting started on my next Wolfenstein Let's Play, Return to Danger. My plan, though, is I may record, parts of those video games and leave the pieces for me to edit and upload them while I'm away in Vegas in 2 weeks. Just so I kind of have something to do. And of course, with it being January, that means I gotta do my Rumble recap and reviews from last year's Rumble matches, which is a tradition I do. So I will try to get those done this month. Of course, I should, at least. And I gotta rewatch it again. I've been wanting to do a review on Cody Rhodes' documentary that came out last year as well. So just a few things to throw out there what I'm looking to do for the month of January to start off the year and get back into the swing of things. And don't forget, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are 35 subscribers away from 2,000. Again, my goal was to get it by last year, by the end of 2023. Momentum slowed down a little bit towards the end of the year, but hey, we came close. I had momentum going for a while. Let's just get it back. And I would say I really believe if I try I can get it by WrestleMania. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, I would say the big goal is I should have it by summertime. But if I can get it by WrestleMania weekend, that would be pretty cool, I think, for me to get to 2,000 subscribers. So, we're going to roll in, though, talk about Raw again, because it is midnight. I do have to work tomorrow. But we will be live, as I do want to have a discussion at the end about the biggest topic coming out of this episode. Overall, when I look back at this episode of Raw, day one, as they call it, if it wasn't for the big moment of the night, the big, mic drop moment, I would give this like a decent to solid, because it was a fun show to watch, but unlike December, there was not much storyline development. It was more so like a showcase show. You saw people like Ivy Nile get an opportunity for the women's title. I knew she had no chance at winning, but it had a chance to kind of showcase that she has potential. I think she delivered well. We had, of course, the main event match with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, which it was good. Ending, though, was weird. And I am starting to believe more and more that I think Drew may be leaving when his contract expires in a few months. And a couple other things that happened. Now, again, it was fun, but I just don't think we had as much story development on this show as we had in recent weeks. Wrestling quality, for the most part, was good. But stories, again, other than the big moment, which again, we'll save for the end, if it wasn't for that, I'd probably say this is more so like a decent episode rather than good episode, like I gave it the grade-wise. But yeah, also too, before I forget too, again, as I said towards the end of 2023, I did get Adobe Photoshop and Adobe After Effects. So within the next couple months, I will probably modify some of the graphics. I want to modify, I'm not reshooting anything. I might have a new song for the intro. The only thing I might get replaced in the intro is like the portion where I show what I'll do in the channel. But like the intro with like the replicating of the CM Punk Devil promo and the MJF return thing, that's all going to stay the same. But I just want to kind of, just spice it up a little bit since I have some new softwares. The thumbnails I've enjoyed making with Photoshop. I still say probably one of the SmackDown or Raw ones was my favorite. But I'm sorry. Getting back to the review, let me check out the live chat here we got here. And we've got Tyler, and we also got the King of Sound Style himself, Robbie One Kenobi. Tyler says hello. He says, don't have The Rock face Roman at WrestleMania. We're going to talk about that. Why Becky lost to Nia Jax. We'll talk about that as well. Tyler didn't think the show was not great. Like I said, I can agree with that somewhat because, like I said, I don't think we got as much story development. It was more so of like a showcase show. But it was still a fun show to watch. But just not as much development. And we got Robbie saying, when you hit that 2K subs mark, treat yourself to a special dinner. But don't settle for a booth. Hell, don't even settle at the bar. Because you should sit at the head of the table. Foreshadowing something to come. Is it crazy that CM Punk and AJ Styles are on WWE at the same time? Yes, it is. That'd be a hell of a match to do also, by the way. I'd love to see that. Several others, of course, with CM Punk as well. Mike, what would you say was Roman Reigns' best match in WWE? AJ Styles at Extreme Rules or Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39? Ooh. Which one did I like better? I may give the rub to Roman and Cody. Because, although AJ and Roman was phenomenal, I still feel like that was when AJ was still kind of finding his groove. I think, like, don't get me wrong, it was definitely like an A- level match I gave it. But I feel like, if we would have had like the AJ we got after that, like when he turned heel and was the world champion, I feel like we would have gotten even better. So I would maybe give the rub to Roman and Cody at WrestleMania by a little bit from last year. But with that being said, though, we're going to move on and get started with this review again. We'll save the big moment for the end. So the show, again, was in San Diego, California. And we opened up with Becky Lynch and the hometown girl, Nia Jax. Huh? My hole! Nia Jax. Surprisingly, though, this actually was a good match, despite the fact that Nia Jax was in it. And I think part of the reason why it was able to, like, what's the word for, like, lay out or just smooth it in, was because the fact that this has a story to it. It's a first time ever match. Was Nia Jax one who really made the man when she broke Becky's face? And basically Becky never truly got that retaliation. Surprisingly, again, Becky and Nia had good chemistry. I did like Nia doing kind of like that cannonball roll also into the barricade. I don't think I've ever seen her do that before. Which, was kind of impressive, if I'm being honest. Like I said, despite the fact that I think Nia is just not the best in the ring at all and just atrocious on the microphone, if they're not half-assing her, I would say she's improved a little bit. But again, I'm still not the biggest fan. But she did do well here, and I actually really like the booking of the ending. The ending was, I think Becky went for, I think Becky went for like a leg drop or something, and Nia was on the ropes, and I think she was like hanging over the ropes, and Becky was going to get for a leg drop. Nia just pops up, does like an uppercut right to Becky's chin, knocks her out cold. Kind of replicating what happened in 2018, except like a cleaner and kayfabe punch. With a little bit of blood, of course. And from that, she was able to hit her Annihilator when she squashed his people. And Nia Jax, clean, gets the win over Becky Lynch. So I guess the story's continuing. I guess this is kind of like a hump, I guess, because I still think it's obvious they're going to do Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania. I don't think Becky should win that match, though, when she faces Rhea, because I don't know who the heck's going to beat Rhea right at this point for a women's title, but I feel like it should be somebody else other than like the usuals, like the Biancas or the Beckys or the Charlottes and whatnot. I want someone new to win, to be either one to eventually dethrone Rhea. But I guess we're going to continue on. People are saying that this is going to set up for Nia Jax to face Rhea at the Rumble. It could, but didn't Nia already declare for the Women's Rumble, though? Maybe a Chamber will get the match? I don't know. We got to, of course, wonder what's the Chamber match going to be, but we'll have to wait and see. But actually, again, an actual good match for Nia Jax. Had a story, and I am wondering, of course, where this goes next. Cody Rhodes had a promo, and he says, it's New Year, he has, goals, but he can't really do his goals now because he's a little stuck. He's stuck on Shinsuke Nakamura. Not of what he said about his family or the poison mist. He's stuck on Shinsuke because this should be over. Nakamura then appears on Tron and says he didn't think it'd be so easy to get into Cody's head and become the author of his final chapter. He whispered the plot in his ear, pushed his character to the brink, and blinded him so he can't see the ending. But his story don't end tonight. He wants to give Cody one more week before he becomes what Rhodes can't, and finish his story and close the book. And he spits mist down the barrel of the camera and basically hypes up we're getting a second match between them next week. We'll see. That could maybe lead to... I don't know. Like, I feel like still like this feud's kind of short. I feel like it's going to kind of go past Rumble maybe, unless if they do what I predicted, have Cody and Shinsuke have like their rubber match at Rumble, where the loser can't participate in the Rumble match, like, because it makes sense if the story is, you know, they're both trying to finish their stories after they failed their first attempt. But we'll see what happens with that. We were supposed to have a match with Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston versus Imperium, but then I guess Kofi did like a drop kick on Giovanni Vinci, and it looked like Giovanni for real did get hurt, which apparently I did see on his Instagram story yesterday. I think it was, he had posted that he was okay, but he may have got a concussion in some ways. So that kind of, hurt the match. We then have a video package for Rhea Ripley and Ivy Nile hyping up for their women's title match. She was working out with the Alpha Academy and Diamond Mine, which is just the Creed brothers and her. And then we get a Miz TV segment. His guests are the Judgment Day, but the outcomes are truth, because he still believes he's part of the Judgment Day. Technically he is, because he won a loser leaves Judgment Day match with JD McDonough on the Miracle on 34th Street fight 2 weeks ago. But Truth swears that Judgment Day was right behind him. And then he has many roles in Judgment Day. Today, it's PR. Last week, administration. Now he's trying to make Judgment Day likable to everyone. Well, out comes JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. And they said, Truth, you're full of crap. Judgment Day would never day to be on Miz TV. Miz points out that JD lost his losing Judgment Day match and shouldn't even be here. Dominic, of course, tries to give Miz crap for his losing record in 2023. But even in his hometown of San Diego, the crowd was booing him out the building. And then Miz then starts pointing out Dominic's flaws, including the Holiday Tour house show to CM Punk, which is interesting. By the way, Punk will be on Raw next week. And then Dom challenges Miz and Truth to a tag team match. And Truth, though, is confused, like, who am I tagging with? And Miz is like, you're tagging with me. And then, of course, they set for the match, which, until this match happened, even though I had just talked about them the other day, I totally forgot that Miz and R-Truth were once a tag team. But they reunited briefly as the Awesome Truth. It was solid. Again, R-Truth is definitely entertaining, but he's just a low-card act that is just actually entertaining. I think there was a part in the match where I think R-Truth was trying to work with Judgment Day to team up on Miz, but of course, again, he's oblivious that they don't want to actually work with him. Eventually, though, Awesome Truth do get in the way as Miz hits a skull crusher finale on JD McDonough. We also get a video package of the new women's tag team champions, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, out partying. And they run into Piper Green and Chelsea Nevin, who basically want a rematch. And I think we're getting it on Raw next week. Cool. Rhea Ripley and Ivy Nile had a good women's title match. Again, I did not expect Ivy to win the match. I really thought that it was more so like a showcase match of like Ivy showing what she can do, because I was very impressed with her in that Battle Royale for the winner to face Rhea at Survivor Series. I thought Ivy looked really good. Like, she comes across as like a powerhouse type wrestler. And I think her getting this spot against Rhea was harmless for her. Again, I knew she was going to lose, but I think she had a strong showing to show that she does have potential for sure. It was a showcase match, and it was really well. Rhea, though, did, of course, get the victory, and we go from there. We will skip the next part and come back to that in just a bit. Speaking of women, we did have Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark defeat Natalya and Tegan Nox. I still wonder if they're going to have Natty or Tegan turn on each other. I mean, basically, the winner of this match is going to be next in line for a women's tag title shot after Chelsea and Piper fight Kaden and Katana next week on Raw. Does anyone also think that they're going to have Tegan and Natty turn on one another? Like, I still feel they may turn Tegan heel. She has not been a heel yet, I don't think. But same time, I still want her to build up that, like, underdog story. But Natalya, though, has turned heel a little one too many times for me at this point. So I would still keep them as, like, the underdog tag team then, and they eventually do get the victory. You know what I mean? And then we have the main event. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. As always, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre have great chemistry. The ending, though, was weird. And quite frankly, it was a slight bit dumb also. Which, the way it was booked, it really has me believing now that I think Drew McIntyre may not be resigning and he could be leaving. So, Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio came out. And it looked like they were attempting a cash-in. Well, the referee wasn't looking, and I guess they took out Damian with the briefcase, and then Drew hit Dom with the belly-to-belly suplex. But Seth was down and out. Once Drew takes care of them, he gets back in the ring and hits a Claymore. And when he did that, I for real thought that Drew may actually win. But when he pulled on the legs to pin Rollins' foot, and this is a whole thing here of, and it's true, Drew has nobody to blame for this loss but himself. He had his feet all tucked up, and Rollins' feet were in vicinity of the ropes that it was able to count as a rope break. And I'm like, really, Drew? Really, Drew? You're about to cost yourself this match. And he did, because Seth hit the curb stomp, and he retained the title. No cash in, but yeah, I saw that. I'm like, Drew, you did this to yourself. You're speaking so much truth. Yes, you're getting more eviler and eviler as time goes on, but you had the victory. I don't think it's really been done that often, the way Drew lost the match with pinning Seth, but his feet were too close to the ropes on that. I don't think it's been too often. I thought I heard the other day, the last time that happened was when Seth Rollins was world champion and he wrestled Pac or Neville on Raw shortly after Neville got called up. Apparently it happened there also as well. I remember there was a couple good near falls in that match. Might want to watch that match again for old time's sake. But yeah, so Drew, you cost yourself the match there. But I am really, really starting to believe that there's a good chance that Drew's leaving, though, go to AEW. Who Seth feuds with next till he gets to CM Punk, though? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's check the live chat. I believe that's just about everything for Raw. Not everything, of course, but, I think we were right here. Robbie says, Nia must have been playing Street Fighter before that match, the way she hit that uppercut on Becky. Huh? I think she also fell on her tailbone. I was going to scream out my hole and whatnot, but who do you think has a better chance to win the Royal Rumble, Bayley or Liv Morgan? Probably Bayley, because isn't Liv still under investigation when she got arrested? Either way, though, Bayley still might pick the win this year's Women's Rumble. Nakamura's Japanese heel promos are fitting of him. Reminds him of Kenny Omega's promo on Will Ospreay from New Japan recently. I never seen those, but nice. But yes, again, although Nakamura hasn't been given like a title or anything, again, I do at least appreciate he at least has a character. Rhea should have been the one to beat Charlotte. It should be Asuka if Asuka did not run into the Bianca buzzsaw at Mania last year. Tyler, your choice of words cracked me up, my friend. Mike, do you see Dominic possibly aligning with Santos Escobar to help him beat Rey Mysterio Jr. at WrestleMania and possibly cause Rey to leave WWE forever if that is the stipulation? Ooh. That wouldn't be bad. Again, I do definitely think Dominic could work well with Santos. I also wonder, because Andrade finished up with AEW this past week. He's no longer on the roster. So he could be coming back. I've heard some rumors of him maybe going back to NXT, though. But if he's not, I would not mind seeing Andrade, him be someone to join up with, like Santos Escobar, maybe. Oh, and also, did anybody else also see online that jump by Joaquin Wilde? I tell you what, before they got called up, I did think like Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde were jobbers. But I feel like ever since they got called up, whenever they've had the chance to actually show what they can do, they're both actually pretty darn good. But yeah, Santos and Dominic together would be awesome. Remember my Evolution 2018 fantasy booking before they became tag team champions together? I booked Casey versus Lacey for the Mae Young Classic Finals. Casey Catanzaro and Lacey Lane. Yep, but of course they have new names now, unfortunately, you know. All due respect to the 4 women involved in that match, but what exactly was the point of Natty and Tegan versus Shayna and Zoey? I think it was because the week before on Raw, they basically said, okay, there's new champs, need new challengers. So it was more so of a kind of like a number one contenders match, but not quite. So basically, whoever won that match probably would get a title shot again after Chelsea and Piper get their rematch. And then Mark, of course, says, how are you? And then asks the big question that I'm going to, of course, advise as well. So, to end this stream, we are going to talk about the biggest story coming out of this episode of Raw. So, over the weekend, Triple H posted a tweet about a former WWE champion maybe showing up at day 1. And they hyped it on the show as someone indeed is here. So we're wondering who it is. I know some people thought maybe it's AJ Lee, because there's rumors of her coming back. She posted something on her Instagram story of her old gear saying, like, you know, my good old friend or something like that. Or it could have been maybe Mercedes Moné coming in. Or maybe it's Big E coming back, which I still doubt it's happening. Or maybe a few others. But anyways, they hyped it up. And then they even had Samantha Irwin announced that please welcome back a former WWE champion. It is dead silence. And then it got even more deader because the music that hit was no one other than one of the worst champions I've ever seen in my entire time as a wrestling fan. Jinder Mahal. He's no longer Balder Mahal, because the last time I saw him with Indus Sher, he had no hair. He's got his hair back, so I guess he's Jinder again. Of course, he comes out to his old, theme music. He called himself the modern day Maharaja. I'm sitting there thinking that this has got to be a rig. I really feel like somebody else is going to be peeking out here, and it's not just going to be Jinder. And you even saw in the background, he basically cut a promo like dissing on America. And you see everybody like holding up their phones waiting for someone else to come out. And finally, it was The Rock. The Rock showed up. I went nuts. The crowd went nuts. Michael Cole went nuts. So The Rock comes out. And he gets in the ring. And he tells Jinder he's in trouble. Jinder's right about one thing, though. He ain't no Iron Sheik. Rest in peace, Sheik. He tried to 3 times talk to Sheik up in heaven. But he says The Rock knew and loved the Iron Sheik. And if he were here right now, he'd say, Rock Butter, who is this no good son of a bitch jabroni bastard? Jinder says, of course, the people's champion appears when the universe is being insulted. The champion of all of us jingoistic people. And if he were Dwayne, he'd be ashamed of himself, representing these people. The Rock says he ain't ashamed. He's actually damn proud to be the people's champion. And The Rock is proud to be an American. And he's even prouder to do his, finally, The Rock has come back to San Diego. And he says the truth is, they don't boo Jinder for how he looks, talks, or because he speaks Punjabi. It's because he's the biggest asshole walking God's green earth. He comes out here and has the gall to diss on America, but America ain't a joke to The Rock, or these people, or everybody watching at home. And there's a whole free speech, let's you talk trash bit. But Rock says also that he's not the modern day, that Jinder's not the modern day Maharaja anymore. But rather, here on out, he calls Jinder the day one douchebag. And just like when he had the Yoren asshole thing going with one side of the crowd and the other side of the crowd with Austin Theory a few months ago, he does the same thing with Jinder. Day one douchebag. Day one douchebag. And then he also says he's got one more gift for Jinder. Since Jinder loves the national... Well, I think there was also something about Baywatch also. Basically saying if you were in one of the Rock sports, it would be Baywatch. And then Jinder says, I've never seen Baywatch. And it's the whole, it doesn't matter what you think and whatnot. But anyway, so then he makes up a verse of the national anthem about how Jinder is jacked as hell, but his balls aren't there. And he's got no choice but to whoop his candy ass. So then, of course, Jinder started attacking Rock before he could finish. And then Rock eventually, though, it's the spine buster and gets fired up, hits the people's elbow. So up until this point, I'm thinking, okay, yes, it's awesome to see The Rock again. But we just saw him 2 months ago. I feel like that this would not have been so good if it just ended right there and been like a one-off segment. Because, to me, it's like, okay, then what was the point of him showing up again 2 months after he did the first time? You know what I mean? So afterwards, he grabs the microphone. And we're like, uh-oh, what can he possibly be addressing this time? So he tells San Diego he loves them. He wishes us all a happy new year. But he says he's kind of hungry. So he's going to go out and find something to eat. And like Robbie mentioned in the live chat before, he asks us about 3 options. He says, should The Rock sit at a booth? Should The Rock sit at the bar? And at this point, my wife and I are like, wait, where is he going with this? But then he also advises, or should The Rock sit at the head of the table? There it is! Mic drop right there. And as soon as he said that, I popped and I'm like, it's coming. We are finally getting it this year. Finally gonna get the dream match. The match we've all wanted since Royal Rumble 2015. Roman Reigns and The Rock. And The Rock wants to sit back at the head of the table. I love it. The question, though, is when? When this year will it happen? Because like last year, we have a problem. Last year, it was very obvious Cody Rhodes was going to the main event of WrestleMania. And again, I agree where he was character-wise, it wasn't his time yet. I still think at this point, you gotta do it this year. But then you have The Rock. Is a dream match like that really going to feel that special if it's not the main event? And not just the main event of one of the nights. The main event of night 2. Because what on earth is possible? Although, Cody wrestling for the title is going to be, great again also if that does happen. But there's nothing bigger than The Rock and Roman Reigns. That's the main dream match everybody has right now. The Rock and Roman Reigns. But then again, too, you got Cody that, didn't finish his story last year. And this whole year since, he's been, rebuilding and whatnot. So it's hard. Yes, the idea is floating around of maybe we'll have Cody win on night 1 and Rock win night 2. But you see, the thing is first off, why would you have Roman lose the night before to wrestle The Rock the next day, even if it's for him to declare himself the true head of the table or whatnot? You know what I mean? You get what I mean? Because again, it's just... But then again, also, Cody deserves that moment of him winning the title, and nothing's going to top it off. So, we're in a tricky situation here. I know some people said that they could be doing Roman and The Rock at Chamber, which I would be okay with, but it's in Australia. It starts at 6 o'clock in the morning over here, Pittsburgh time or whatnot. And it's just are you really going to waste a match, though, during a time where for a show that people aren't probably going to be watching live? Or not many, at least, are going to watch it live. But then again, do you really want to rip Cody again? Unless you do Cody and Roman where Cody dethrones Roman at SummerSlam. But I still, this day, just don't know what story they're going to do for Cody to get back to Roman, since Roman's on SmackDown. Or wait, yeah, it's on SmackDown. Cody's on Raw. So I don't know what they're going to do. Again, I guess I would lean more towards, I still want to see Cody finish his story. But then again, how many more chances are we really going to get to see The Rock wrestle Roman Reigns? Especially if he feels ready this year. So I propose a question to you guys. Who should Roman face at WrestleMania 40? Should it be The Rock? Should it be Cody? What do you guys think? And that's going to be my review of Raw. I gave the show a B. Live chat. Check what we got in the live chat here. And then I'm going to get going because I'm getting tired. Robbie says, do you have 2K23? I recently bought it for my ROG Alley during Black Friday and love it so far. I bought a deluxe edition for under $40, normally $100. Nice. Unfortunately, though, I do not. The only other game system I have is the Switch. And unfortunately, it's not available for the Switch. Todd says The Rock should be in the Hall of Fame this year, not facing Roman at WrestleMania. AJ should be the one he thinks to beat Roman still. Jinder is the worst champion. Yes, for sure. Mark's favorite part was Samantha's reaction when The Rock came out. I did see that, yes. And Mark saying do Cody and Roman at SummerSlam as well. Yeah, they could. I don't know. It's just like a redemption story from WrestleMania being... At this point, a year and a half later, like, if it was last year's SummerSlam, okay. But we're passing another WrestleMania. It's just so hard. It's so hard. Like, which one do you do? I don't know. Robbie said, I want Cody to finish the story and have his moment. So I say, do Roman Cody 2 at WrestleMania. Maybe do a segment where the Roman incapacitates The Rock ahead of the match, and then they do it at SummerSlam. I guess you can maybe do it that way, but we'll wait and see. But I think I'm going to do it here, guys. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed here right now. I did record 2 baseball topic videos, but with how tired I am, I'll probably publish them tomorrow, though. They're uploaded, but I just didn't publish them yet. I got to get the thumbnails done for them as well. But yeah, that's Raw. What are your guys' thoughts on it? The Rock returning? Of course, the big question is, when do we do Roman Reigns versus The Rock? But it's happening. The Rock threw it out there. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. And you may always also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. Hopefully again, I'll be able to do some more live reviews again. If not, then we'll just stick to uploads. Like I said, there will be no reviews though during the week of January 14th. Though, as I said, I will be out of town in Vegas. And Robbie says, hey Mike, I heard you're a Seinfeld fan. Yeah? Well, the life support machine called and the comeback episode, yes. My father-in-law actually got me a bunch of magnets, like with Seinfeld blurbs on them for Christmas, and they're all over my refrigerator in the kitchen. Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot. I read somewhere what they said the idea for the life support machine would be. The full remark, I can't remember what it was. I gotta look it up again though. But I'm gonna call it a night now, guys. Again, I want to try again to do as many lives as possible. If I can get things set up ahead of time for them, maybe I'll start doing some lives again. I definitely think I'm going to do some sort of like a talking points review from a couple things from AEW. Again, I still don't feel comfortable reviewing AEW, but tonight's episode, there were a couple things, especially one thing that really got me hyped. That I'm pretty sure those who follow me on Twitter and Instagram know what it was, but I am going to talk about it in a separate video that I'll probably do tomorrow. So again, keep an eye out also for the baseball videos. I have a couple more of those to film before I get caught up with those. And like I said, hopefully again in a few weeks, video game Let's Plays will start coming back as well. So guys, what are your thoughts on this episode of Raw? And again, I gave this show a B. What grade would you guys give it? And again, when do you think The Rock and Roman Reigns should wrestle? I might create some polls. And we will go from there. So guys, again, leave that stuff getting on the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. And you may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, guys. That is I got it all mixed up. Yeah. And that is not just an opinion. That is a fact of life. Yeah. Good night, everybody. I'll catch you guys later.